The most significant game of the season so far is an all-Manchester affair. City almost perfect, top and chasing records. United solid, trying to stay on their rival's tail. This match will have a big impact on the title race no matter what the outcome. And once again it's Jose versus Pep. The mind games between the pair played out this week over the fitness of David Silva.
Do you want the true or what do you want?
Yeah, I don't want the other manager's version.
It's the true, eh? No stories of David Silva, all the true.
Could you give us an update on David Silva's fitness?
He's going to play.
He's going to play?
Yeah.
Because Jose Mourinho seemed to suggest that you were perhaps trying to pull the wool over our eyes a little bit.
He's going to play.
I don't think it's hyperbole to say that these are two of the finest minds amongst football management that the world's ever seen. They just have incredibly different ethoses on how to play football.
Pep Guardiola built his reputation on control and class and style against Jose Mourinho, who's built his name on solidity and defensive football, which has gotten great success.
This is first against second, but it's more than that. It could decide much more than where Silva ends up this season. It could decide the future of football tactics. So what's changed with Man City this season from last season? One of the key figures of City's play this season has been how well Silva ends up this season. It could decide the future of football tactics. So what's changed with Man City this season from last season? One of the key figures of City's play this season has been how well the fullbacks have attacked. If you've got Raheem Sterling bothering you, as an opposition team, if you've got Raheem Sterling bothering you, it opens up a great swathe of space here. Kyle Walker can get into it.
Particularly Kyle Walker, it was quite obvious when Pep signed him, this was the player that was going to change Manchester City this season. One of the big differences from last season is that before it was Gaël Clichy, Bakary Sagna, both the wrong side of 30. It didn't really work. It's taken them a whole year to learn this system, which is so complex. It's all about positional play, all about trying to dominate the opposition over in the defence, and it always happens with Pep teams. It takes time.
The other thing that Pep's very good at, he divides the pitch laterally into 5 equal strips. This is where Kyle Walker has been underlapping all season. He just steams past like a train, and that attracts at least one defender. Sterling's got more space. Things happen, and then you've got De Bruyne and Silva dropping off and causing havoc.
In a nutshell, it's very fluid, and that is very difficult for opposition teams to track.
I love when my players, from the goalkeeper until the end, they are able to pass the ball as quick as possible, move in one sense. It depends one movement, it depends of the other. But sometimes it's more difficult to do that because the opponents play the same, but I love it, yeah. I think when you see our patterns like a manager since Barcelona, Bayern Munich here is quite similar in the terms I won the ball. That is my main principle.
So now we move on to Manchester United. The big talking point is not having Paul Pogba. You can look at it in 2 ways. He's not quite got that same defensive strength as Ander Herrera. Herrera will be busy moving around various City runners. The problem is Paul Pogba is United's source of creativity. Ashley Young and Antonio Valencia are going to be particularly important in this game. In the absence of Pogba, they're going to be these great outlets out wide.
They will on occasion break out, knowing that there's cover in midfield. Presumably Matic and Herrera will drop into that space.
So then there's Romelu Lukaku playing up front on his own. So Martial's going to be playing very close, trying to feed off these knockdowns, get the second balls. They won't be afraid to go direct if they need to. You look at the goal that they scored against Tottenham, that came from a very direct ball to Lukaku, flick on, Martial getting in behind and scoring.
Me as a manager, I can try to define a game plan, I can try to work a direction, but football is unpredictable. You don't know what can happen. You know, there are so many things that are out of control that can transform totally the direction of the games.
So this is how we think that Man City and Man United will line up against each other this weekend. United might try to sucker them in to then get behind them. The wingers will be trying to pin back the wing backs if United play a back 5, because then that's half of United's team almost out of action. And then there's Fernandinho at the back of midfield. He can change the angle of attack, see if you can find a weakness.
This is the only way Pep Guardiola knows, and this Jose Mourinho won't really mind that too much, because the way he'll see that getting at City is probably on the counter. That's how they did it against Arsenal. We know City are vulnerable from the counter.
If you've got two attacking fullbacks, they need to get back home if United are breaking. All it takes is a quick release, and then you've got a potential problem.
These two players here are going to be particularly important for Manchester United. Nemanja Matic and Herrera. These two players are going to have to marshal this area really, really well, because they'll be wanting to force City's attackers out wide. And the way that the forwards are going to work when split into these areas here, going behind the centre-backs, who are not the quickest, with support from players like Antonio Valencia, who will be trying to exploit any space that Fabian Delph's leave in this area.
Manchester United, it will be Old Trafford, and it will be Mourinho.
I think the only thing we can be sure about in this game is it's going to be a fascinating battle.